Hi, are you into fuel-efficient motorcycling? Or are you curious about the new Sony RX100 V camera that's now setting a new standard for what a compact camera should be? I'm a video maker on a motorcycle, and I invite you to see for yourself what the RX100 V can do as I travel around Northern California, looking for a new, fuel-efficient motorcycle for my current project. Hi, welcome to the Respectful Revolution vlog. My name is Gerard Ungerman, and I've been producing since 2012 with my partner Stacy Ware the Respectful Revolution series that many of you are aware of. I'm traveling around the United States looking for people from all walks of life, doing good things for others, society, nature and the world, to essentially contribute in their own ways to making the world a better place. And I've been doing it traveling on a motorcycle, for fun, adventure, and for the fuel efficiency. And today is a very special vlog because it's our first vlog, first of all. I've been doing a series online and also on Free Speech TV of half-hour episodes, but we have never done a vlog yet. And so I would like to tell you about the equipment which I got, and also, more importantly, I will tell you about the quest for a sponsor that we are in the midst of, because we need now to partner up with a company that sort of represents also our sense of ethic and commitment to sustainability. And I will tell you who we chose as potential sponsors to approach for the Respectful Revolution project. Equipment-wise, first of all, I had to get new equipment to do this because it's a different thing to be shooting behind the camera where you have full control of the iris, in particular the exposure, and when you do vlogging you cannot really mess with controls like this manually. You want the camera to do everything automatic, and I looked for the camera that would deliver best for the job, and at this point it seems to be the Sony RX100 V, the latest RX camera by Sony, and you will see during this vlog how it performs. I'm also using this Zoom H1 recorder, which I like very much, and you will also judge of its quality. I've been using for a while now, not just primarily for this project, but in general, this Garmin Verb Action Cam in tandem with an older GoPro camera, and you will judge of each camera's quality. I tend to have a preference for the Garmin, and you will see why. But most importantly, here I will take you on a quest for what's to me the most adapted motorcycle for the job, which in particular is, I guess, of my liking, kind of a more classic looking bike with a focus also on fuel efficiency. And I've been looking at specific companies that are very involved in sustainability in their practices, and also you will get to discover who we are talking about as I take you on this quest around Northern California. Alright, so here we are at the first stop in our trip, looking at motorcycle manufacturers and dealerships in Northern California. We are here at the Kawasaki dealership and Yamaha, actually a dealership here at Chico Motorsport. And we are going to meet briefly Chris, who was very, very nice to invite me to look at bikes. And at first I wanted to make a presentation and felt a little bit camera shy, which I can't really blame him for that. You know, it happens. So I'll do the presentation myself, and that's pretty fine. So welcome to Chico Motorsport. Kawasaki would be a good company to partner up with because, for one thing, they're a company that's very focused on the environment, on reduction of CO2, reduction of waste, and one of their slogans is working as one for the good of the planet. And that's definitely what we want to do, and there's a kind of attitude that we are seeking to promote, so Kawasaki would be a good company. Hi Chris.
Hey Gerard, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here at the store and looking at bikes.
No problem.
Very kind. So there are several models here that I would be looking at, and one in particular is a Kawasaki Versys 650, which is actually a quite efficient motorcycle. It's one of the smaller adventure bikes, and the fact of being smaller is that, of course, less displacement means less fuel consumption. And that's definitely something that I always seek to promote, show how far you can go on how little gasoline. The one thing that I really, really enjoy with actually all of Kawasaki's designs is the fact that they do not have protruding suspensions in the rear, and that helps immensely putting bags, which is always a bit of a liability, especially when you squeeze between traffic. And here with this design, you can really put bags as big as you want. And of course, it's a big thing for me, being on the road sometimes up to 4 months at a time. I need to be able to carry my gear, my camping gear, my clothing, my equipment. This is definitely a bit of a different bike compared to what I've been riding in the past. I've always been more of a cruiser person, but I must say it's a very appealing bike nonetheless. Very, very appealing. It has very nice lines, and I've heard nothing but good things about this bike as far as reliability and durability. So definitely something to consider. Another model for sure that I would gladly consider is the good old Vulcan V900. It is something definitely cut for American roads, and here you have a motorcycle that doesn't have a huge displacement. We're talking about 903 cc's. It's perfectly adequate for a single person. Fuel efficiency is good. We're talking again about, depending how you ride it, anywhere between mid to low 50 miles per gallon. And this particular bike has a big tank. It will take you far, 5.5 gallons, so you can make the calculation. 5.5 gallons times an efficiency in the 50 miles per gallon. We're talking about over 250 miles on the tank, and that's really, really cool, especially in parts of the country where you don't necessarily find gasoline everywhere, especially in the southwest. Again, another thing that I really dig about Kawasaki's design is the absence of protruding suspensions, here, which means that I have no limitations on the size of saddlebags that I can put in the back, and that's really good because it's kind of a pain to have to deal with a tunnel inside your bag that accommodates the suspension like I have currently on my Sportster. I would be quite happy to be rid of this particular inconvenience. And I'd say it's a very, very sexy bike. It comes in two models: the classic, that's more a bagger style, and the custom. And personally, I must say I have a little preference. I like the thinner, larger 21-inch wheel in the front. I've always liked that. So. And here's one of the latest babies from Kawasaki. That's the Kawasaki Vulcan S, which is essentially a more modern, slightly smaller, and probably also more agile cruiser. And it's a 649cc engine, same as the Versys 650. has definitely a smaller tank of the three. This one is a 3.7 gallons, but it's not so bad. It definitely would take you around 180 miles on a tank. That's something that I think you can totally live with in the Southwest. But it's a very, very sweet, very, very nice bike. It's one of these more modern engines that it is not a V-twin. It's actually an inline twin engine that delivers quite adequate power. Some people would think, oh, that's a bit small, but no, it's not. This is not an old-fashioned 650 engine, like an old Savage or something. No, it's actually it's a modern engine that will take you the distance. And it is not a very large bike, but it's about the same size as a Sportster that I had been using. So considering that you can have your bags as big as you possibly want, and it comes standard as a single seater, here you have plenty of space to be able to put a large oversized rack, and it makes it completely adequate for the type of traveling that I would want to do. Alright, so that was one dealership, and quite interesting actually. I'm already salivating on some models, and now we are on to our next dealership. Now we are at Honda motorcycles, and well, the old Honda slogan, I meet the nicest people in my Honda. That's exactly what I do. I meet the nicest people. Not yet on my Honda, but possibly, and I hope so. And I must say I really dig the entire company and its philosophy. Honda is a company that does a lot for the world in general. It does a lot of charitable work as far as education, as far as protecting the environment and teaching kids how to protect the environment, reduce waste, pollution, and they really want to be contributing positively everywhere they do business. And this is something that we completely dig. It's something that we would love to align ourselves with. So here we are. We're at the Honda Power Sport store in Chico, California, and we are going to meet Gabe Hagen, and he's going to show us a few motorcycles that I could possibly be riding for the project. All right. Hi, Gabe.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for having me over.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much for presenting me a bit what Honda is doing here and the kind of motorcycles that I could possibly be riding.
We've got a few models here that you can take a look at, but one of our kind of newest models here is a CTX 700. It's kind of a new age cruiser. It has the riding position of kind of a cruiser, very comfortable, but yet it's got new age technology. So what Honda's done with this one is they've used the automotive technology to create the parallel twin motor, which is highly efficient, uses half the parts, lightens up the bike. So what you get is high fuel efficiency and a lightweight feel. This gets anywhere from, if you're riding it hard, it still gets 60 miles per gallon, but if you cruise at 55 or so, you can get up to 65, 70 miles per gallon on average. You could probably get higher than that if you're really being conscious of how you're riding the machine. So in America, over the years, bigger has always seemed to be better. And in the past, maybe we needed a bigger engines because the technology was good. You couldn't get as much horsepower or efficiency out of a larger engine. But I think nowadays with the new technology, we're able to get a really strong, smooth running motor and cruise on the highway at 75 miles an hour for thousands and thousands of miles. Another brand new model that just came out It's actually a long-standing model called the Rebel, but Honda just released a completely redone, revamped, new motors. It comes in a 300 and a 500. Both give incredible mileage, 70 plus miles per gallon on average. Very comfortable, light feeling. I think easy to ride for just about anybody. And then the larger version, the 500, is going to be great for somebody who's been already riding for quite a while and wants that extra power. Having the direct chain drive, you don't lose a lot of power going to the rear wheel, so a 500 will be plenty of power for most riders. So we're pretty excited about this model. We just got it in the showroom floor, and there's kind of a lot of buzz and talk about it, and I think it's going to kind of be a good selling model for us.
That is one sweet, sexy bike.
Yes, it is. So this is the NC700X. It's got the same motor in it as the CTX 700, but it's got a very different riding position. It's more of a straight up and down adventure style. So when you're sitting upright like that, you have more control and kind of an off-road riding position if you were to take a gravel road, somewhere on your adventure. Some cool features on this bike is storage. This bike comes stock with a storage compartment right in front of the seat, which you can fit a full-size helmet in this storage compartment. So I've gone on many rides on this bike down to LA, which is an 8-9 hour drive from here, and with no problems. It was comfortable. I was able to store a lot of things on this bike, and the mileage is incredible. Even when you ride it hard, you still get 60 miles per gallon, and when you ride it, regular, you can get upwards of 68 to 70 miles per gallon on this bike. Some cool features on this bike: it's got a little bit better suspension or more travel than your standard street bike, so it does very well on rough roads. It's got a very low center of gravity because the engine is cocked down here, so this is all open. That's why we have the storage compartment here. And then the fuel tank is underneath the seat, so all that weight is lower than normal street bikes. So when you sit on it, it feels like a bike that is half its weight, which is pretty incredible. So when you're on a nice windy mountain road, this bike handles like a sport bike. It just loves it, and so it's very easy to ride and not very intimidating.
Alright, so here we have the Honda Shadow 750, proven, reliable, solid.
Yeah, this is a great bike. It's like you said, proven. It's had some upgrades over the years, disc front brake, fuel injection, that sort of thing that makes it a little bit more fuel efficient. So this would be a great bike for someone who wants something that is very, very reliable. I've personally seen bikes, this model, come in with 150 plus thousand miles on it, and the only thing they've done to it is routine maintenance. Oil changes, tires, and brake pads. That's it. It's a pretty incredible machine. So it handles well in town, and it'll cruise on the highway at a decent speed. It gets great mileage, in my opinion. Mid 50s to lower 60s. It's got a good styling to it as well. This is kind of a newer model for the Shadow. It still uses the same motor and chassis, but it's called the Honda Phantom. And I think it's still got a great look to it. So if you're looking for something, this style that you want to either commute to work with or ride long distance on, this bike will do everything.
Alright, so here we are at the Ducati BMW also dealership in Roseville, California, and about to meet a gentleman by the name of Harrison, who's going to tell us a bit about Ducati motorcycles. Because I must say, assumptions. I was assuming that Ducati was a company that was mostly into like high performance and amazingly made bike, but not necessarily efficient and sustainable. And I was very, very, very happily surprised to discover that actually Ducati may be one of the most sustainable-minded companies making motorcycles, and again, Italian company making beautiful bikes. Alright, so let's see what this gentleman Harrison Cole has to tell us about Ducati motorcycles. Alright.
Hey there. How you doing, Gerard?
Harrison.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Alright, well, so tell me a little bit about Ducati. Why is Ducati a good company that I should potentially try to partner up with for the Respect for Revolution project?
Well, there's a number of reasons. You had mentioned in our earlier talks about looking for a bike that was fuel efficient and light and simple. The particular bike that we talked about, the Ducati Scrambler, would fit that bill really, really well for a number of reasons. These bikes today have to comply with not only the California Air Resource Board pollution emissions standards, they also have to comply with Euro 4 emissions. The bikes themselves are a light, simple, robust motor, fun and easy to ride. So you've got the fuel efficiency, you've got the ease of use, and Ducatis are just cool. They have a unique valve train, the desmodromic valves, which is precise mechanical actuation, so they don't have valve float, so they're real torquey and punchy. And the Scramblers in particular are more about torque than horsepower, and they're just a kick in the pants.
All right, well, show me one.
All right, very good. We'll go out here and we'll show you this one.
All right.
So this is the Ducati Scrambler. It's a really light, simple motorcycle. It's what we call an L-twin. One cylinder sticks up, one cylinder sticks forward. It looks cool. This particular one has the aluminum fenders, it has the cool seat, it has the cool tank stripe. 75 horse. There's a single throttle body feeding both cylinders. Very efficient. And that's kind of a theme that they've taken with this bike overall. A single disc up front because it's a lightweight motorcycle. It doesn't need the dual disc brakes, so that keeps the weight down, keeps the cost down. It's a great bike for new riders, returning riders, and somebody that wants a second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth bike.
Well, and so you told me that you had been quite impressed when you went to
The factory?
the factory
Yeah.
by what you saw. Tell me what makes Ducati a company that you think has a vision for the world today.
They have a unique vision. They want to be the leader of safety, efficiency, and still be able to build a bike that you look at and you get a little sort of lustful reaction.
Yeah, I mean it's art. Ducati bikes are completely. I mean it's a work of art. And you told me that they like to source parts, components fully locally to be able to support the local economy and to avoid having to ship parts
Correct.
many thousands of miles around the world.
Correct. They're provincial in that sense. In northern Italy, in what they call Motor Valley, where most of the Italian major manufacturers are Lamborghini, Ferrari, Ducati, Alfa Romeo, Moto Guzzi, Cagiva / MV Agusta are all up in this area, and these manufacturers use other little manufacturers to manufacture components for them. So for example, Ducati doesn't make all of their parts. They use these small manufacturers to make their frames, to make other components. Ducati will spec out the design with the factory engineers, and those smaller companies then build products for Ducati and the other manufacturers. And you can see there's a lot of industry and a lot of productivity up there in the northern part of Italy. It's amazing.
It all sounds very, very, very appealing, I must say. And I guess I'm going to spend a bit of time drooling in front of the Scrambler and also at the Multistrada. And I guess I thank you immensely for your time.
Absolutely. Yeah, if it gets real messy, we have rags where you can clean up the slobber. So.
Okay, fantastic. And hopefully, well, Ducati will be interested in supporting us and we'll take it from there.
I hope so. Very good.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
Take care.
Yep.
Hi, Randy.
How are you, Gerard?
Doing well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you again. All right. So here we are in this beautiful BMW dealership in Roseville. Tell me why you feel that BMW would be a great company to partner up with the Respect Revolution project.
Well, BMW has a long history of being involved in the community no matter what country they're in. They are very careful to always redesign themselves whenever it becomes necessary as times change. And they recently redesigned their whole mission statement for BMW, which is now urban mobility, and they've looked forward into the next 100 years of what the world is going to look like. And you can really see that they've just shifted. Everything they wanted to do is to be in step with the way the world's going. Electric cars, self-driving cars, motorcycles that get great gas mileage, and low emissions, and just always looking forward, not just for the next year, but the next 100 years.
Well, that sounds extremely exciting, and that's exactly the kind of company that we would like to partner with. So, what models do you think would be appropriate for what we do that would give me, especially on the road, the type of flexibility of use and fuel efficiency that I'm after?
Well, you know, you're going on a great adventure, so an adventure bike would probably be a good choice for you. We have over here the BMW F700 and F800 GS. Mm-hmm. They get over 50 miles to the gallon. They're easy to ride. They can go on rugged roads. So the F700 GS is a lower seat height and is more street-oriented. It has a 19-inch front wheel, which is more suited for the street. And then the F800 GS, a 21-inch wheel and upside-down forks. So definitely more capable off-road in the sand or the mud. On these models, they can be brought into our service department and switched over to a lower horsepower, lower fuel requirement, so you can get better gas mileage, have a smoother power band if used out of the country where unleaded gas is not available.
This is excellent.
Yeah.
All right. They seem to be fairly large tanks. What kind of autonomy do you get on
you get
something like this?
About 4 gallons on these models, and the Adventure gets a 6-gallon tank.
6 gallon. Oh wow, nice. All right, cool. And so, what else? Would possibly be a good choice also for this project?
Well, the other thought might be that if BMW wants to go get in touch with the younger crowd, who's possibly more in touch with what's going on in the environment, and also to bring people into the motorcycling world, our youngest model is the R9T over here. They definitely have a classic look and throwback to BMW's history, but a lot of the young people like having simpler, more vintage style vehicles, and they have lots of models. This is the Scrambler. Scrambler would probably be the best if you're going to be going on any rough roads, so that might be a good choice.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
I think so too.
I know.
The Scrambler has tubeless spoke wheels, so they're strong, and they can go on very rough off-road without bending. But if you get a puncture,
that you can still plug them like you would a normal cast wheel.
This is a fairly new motorcycle, so I guess it's not totally proven yet.
This motor actually came out, this is our earlier motor. It's air and oil cooled, not the new water cooled model. And that engine has its roots all the way back to 1993, so very well proven.
Wow, all right. Well, I guess I'm going to be looking at these two bikes a bit more closely, and I mean, you've done a lot already to connect us with both, actually, Ducati and BMW. You know, thank you very much for that, and now we'll continue tugging on their sleeves and see what happens. But I wanted to thank you immensely, you know, for your time and for your efforts at helping us, and we'll see where it leads.
Our pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. So here we are at the Elk Grove Motorsport store, and today we are going to be looking at Moto Guzzis, in particular the V7, and a gentleman is going to introduce us to the bike that could become the dream motorcycle for the Respectful Revolution project. So here we go into the dealership of Moto Guzzi. Ooh, lots of beauties here, for sure. Oh my, oh my. Ah. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Hi, Johnny.
Hey,
right.
Gerard.
Hi, Johnny.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you in person.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Thanks for stopping by our shop.
Yeah, you bet, you bet.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about Moto Guzzi.
Yeah.
Why do you feel it to be a good partner for the Respectful Revolution?
Yeah, well, I think it's a good partner. I mean, they've been around forever. They've been around for 95 years. Moto Guzzis are really known for going forever, really running forever. We had somebody in here a couple months ago. He had a 1964 Moto Guzzi Eldorado, and he said that thing hasn't given him problems even one time.
Wow.
So here we could take a look at just some of these real quick, and we also pulled one out in front of our shop that you could take a look at. But I think part of sustainability is how long you can make your item last, how long you could get value out of it before you have to buy something else.
I know.
And I think that's really a key component, you know, getting the most value out of whatever you have before you have to get something new.
Yeah.
So I think that's really where Moto Guzzi stands out from the pack. You know, being around for 95 years, and when you look at the original models, not much has changed like it has in the design aspect of it. The components are much more modern now, but they have a product that has lasted almost a century. You know, in a few years it's going to be a century here. So I think that's really where they shine when it comes to sustainability. Yeah. You know, they have five different shops around the world that really meet the highest environmental standards. So when it comes to technology and making a product, it's clean. When it comes to making a product that is going to last a long time, they excel in both those areas. So I think when it comes to sustainability, Moto Guzzi is really a good example of how to do it the right way and how to make a product that is going to last really your lifetime. As long as you take care of it, it's going to last your lifetime.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, at least in general terms, about this particular V7 that we have in front of us now.
Yeah, so this one is the V7 3 Stone. This comes in a couple different models. There's a V7 Special, and that one's a little shinier. This one's a Stone. 700cc engine. And this one's one of the more popular Moto Guzzi models. It's kind of the more entry level. It's a little bit smaller than their other models. And the tank has been getting bigger over the years, especially on the V73. And people customize these however they're liking it. I've seen people customize Moto Guzzi so that there's extra fuel tanks on the side, different kind of bags in the back.
So it's definitely a bike that's ready for expeditions.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's very versatile, and knowing that it's going to last a long time and it's just going to keep running, you can make it how you need it for 1 year. Maybe the next year you're not going to be driving too far of a distance, so you could take out those bags off and really show it off. So it really depends how you want it. Really.
I kind of have a particular liking also for the
Stornello?
The Stornello,
Yeah.
see.
Oh, yeah.
How about the Stornello?
Oh, that one's one of my favorites, actually. That one's a pretty new one. That one's a limited edition model. I think only available this year. I think this is the first year they've ever had it. So as you can see, kind of just next to the other bikes that are kind of set up to look more modern, this one has a very traditional look. So it's got the white and the red. It's got the leather. As you can see, it's got the stainless steel, and then also the stainless steel pipes on the other side. And this is a style that's been getting much more popular.
Johnny, thank you very, very much for your time and for showing me these bikes.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure talking to you and really showing off our Moto Guzzis.
Thanks so much. Huh?
Yeah, you're
Take
welcome.
care.
Thanks.
All right, here we are in the last dealership of this trip. And what dealership is this? It is Enfield. And I know many people are talking about Enfield making a comeback and trying to impose themselves in the US, and many people wonder, well, but these are kind of old bikes, you know, are they really reliable? And they're not very big either. You know, we're talking about 500 cc's, we're talking about 350. And even though they are fuel injected, are they really good for the job? And that's what we are going to find out. But personally, I like these bikes. I think they look very, very cool. I like the retro aspect of them. And I also respect very much the company, what they're trying to do, and in particular their new CEO, Siddhartha Lal, who I think is a man of vision. And so now we are going to meet a gentleman by the name of Duell in the Enfield dealership in Ukiah, California.
How are you today?
All right, Duell. Thank you so much for giving me some time.
One of my cards.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
And so, well, why do you think Enfield would be a good company for Respectful Revolution to partner with, considering that we need modern means of transportation that are more fuel efficient?
Yes. They take the old with the new. You take an old look and put new technology together and make a refined product. I'm going to put it the very simplistic way I can think. You think about Volkswagen. Volkswagen was around 1940s to 50s, very similar, 60s, 70s, similar. They kind of dropped off a while. Now they've come back. Old with new. You take the older look, redesign a little bit of it, and add it to the new product. That's kind of like what Royal Enfield's doing. You take an older look, classic look, and refine it with the new improvements.
What model or models would you think is appropriate for my kind of traveling, considering that I go far, you know, sometimes across the US to produce my videos, but I don't go fast. I tend to cruise at 60, 65 top to save gasoline. But I need also to be able to carry some gear. I need to maybe have an extra luggage rack, big bags, because I travel sometimes 3-4 months at a time. So what would you think I should be riding?
Well, I would probably put you more towards the classic. The reason why is because the classic, even though it's a single seat, which is bigger for yourself, more comfort, you could put the rack on the back and has a lot of room to add saddlebags, and this would be a good product. You have springs under the seat for a little bit more comfort. Again, you put the rack on it, and you can put bigger bags, and you can put a bigger tank bag on there too in the front. So you could carry a lot of goods, put a windshield on, and still get about 60 plus miles a gallon. Cruising speeds on this, 55 to 60, be very comfortable, because that's what it's designed for, to get the maximum economy. They've proven themselves by the Indian Army for how reliable they are at those speeds. But understanding that in the American market, if you don't want to drive crazy speeds, it'll last you forever. It's a very strong, well-built product. Kickstarter, electric starter, fuel injection, overhead cams, new style brakes, disc brakes, drum brake in the rear because you don't need a lot of real snappy brakes in the rear. You want controllable power, controllable braking. So that's why I feel this would be a great product for you.
Also, a lot of people were saying, you know, for many years, well, you know, they're good solid bikes, you can wrench on them endlessly, but they leak oil all the time, they vibrate, oh, they're not so reliable. Where are they today with a new injection, with a new engine, coming from the new factory now? Yes. Where is Enfield as far as reliability today?
The reliability in this is about any motorcycle. If you change your oil and take care of certain things, the bike will last forever. If you don't take care of this bike or any other bike, it will not last you. So just common sense on any motorcycle. Change your oil, keep your air filter clean. Make sure you run the bike, don't let the gas get bad and stale. Injectors will get them plugged up. But with the new technology, fuel injection systems, easier to start, so much more reliable, altitude adjustments, no problem. Very good quality tires on these bikes, stock from the manufacturer. So, I mean, it's as reliable as any motorcycle in the industry right now.
All right, so with Enfield, we conclude our trip today and our quest for the perfect partner for Respect to Revolution and the perfect motorcycle to associate with this ongoing journey looking for the best, kindest, and the most sustainable-minded people in the US today. I must say I really feel like a kid in a toy store. Now, of course, it's not entirely up to me which bike I will pick and which manufacturer I will partner with, but now we will see what happens. This partnership will be very significant because Respect to Revolution will hopefully go on for many years to come, decades maybe, and also there's going to be more and more of an educational component where we'll associate students by the hundreds, maybe the thousands around the country to this quest, and it will be an opportunity for us to directly link up a manufacturer and a motorcycle to the cause that we stand for in the eye of not only our audience online and on television, but also students all around the country who will somehow partake in the Respect to Revolution. Thank you very much for watching.